Welcome to the Manifesting Millions podcast. I am your host, Rashida McFerren, and today, number one, welcome back from the holiday, okay? Right? I missed y'all. I hope y'all missed me. We had a decent holiday, just normal fam and friends and good food and football, right? Today, we are going to be talking about the FAF movement. Now, normally I do not bring like social issues into my podcast, but since this impacted money and bottom lines and revenue, I had to come on and talk about it because it was so profound over this past weekend with the course of social media, with everything that's been going on. And if you've been hiding under a rock, you will know that as early as last week or the week before last, several top companies, Fortune 500 companies, came out talking about how they were rolling back their DEI programs, diversity basically, and that it wasn't going to be a top priority anymore in their company to recruit and retain basically diverse employees for their organizations, and that they wanted to make it more equal across the board. Well, the reason DE&I practices are in place is because it holds companies accountable in regards to people of color being able to secure opportunities that sometimes would not have otherwise been an opportunity for that person because of the fact that they are a person of color. And now I'm speaking specifically as a Black woman in America, in corporate America, corporate finance. I've been a woman of color my whole life. My name, in and of itself, on a piece of paper, people can determine whether or not I'm Black. Or I've been also mistaken for being foreign born, because the constant question I've gotten asked over the years since we've transitioned to Texas is, are you a US citizen? And I know that's formal practice for you to ask when you're submitting candidates and I'm being considered for candidacy. But I beg to question how many times that's asked to my white counterparts. You know, it's kind of offensive, to be honest with you, for you to ask me that, thinking that I'm not, just because my name suggests that I am of an other ethnic background other than being Caucasian. So let's talk about it. The FAFO, if you are not familiar with the term, I can't say the actual word, but it's F around and find out, is a phrase that is coined within the Black community that's been around for years. I've seen little movements here and there across social media over the past 4 years about boycotting here and there and not participating in certain things. And I haven't seen anything catch as much steam. But this one caught my attention because I specifically have been complaining about the Walmart experience for the past 10 years. So much that I have literally made a conscious choice over probably the past 10 years of my life that if I have an option to shop elsewhere, I choose to shop at a competitor because the experience is just terrible. I don't know what's been happening over the last 2 years, and all of a sudden they're trying to turn the Walmarts into a mall or something, and it's complete chaos. It was already chaos before, and now it's complete, utter, absolute chaos when you go into a Walmart because you can't figure anything out, where to go check out, where the line is. And I remember earlier this year, when our Walmart, the Walmart meaning in our community, was converting to, I guess, their new floor model. And I literally went in there to be in there for all of 5 to 10 minutes and ended up being in there for 20 minutes. I did a TikTok video and I was like, I absolutely hate and loathe this place. I only come here when I absolutely have to. Nobody knows what's going on. And it was like a good 20 to 30 of us trying to figure out where to go in the line, who to check out to what. So I have been saying for years that the experience shopping there was not of service to its customers. And also, I've been saying that I'm going to choose to spend my money elsewhere. Like specifically, I choose to go to a smaller grocery chain down the street, like HEB, or anything that's smaller that's not going to have as much chaotic flow and energy to it as a store. I choose to go do that, especially when in regards to shopping for foods. And I like shopping with HEB because they keep it local to Texas farmers. I am a farm girl, true to core from my background in Tennessee. And so I like to support small owned businesses that are local to our economy. And so HEB does a really good job about doing business with Texas farmers. I have tried to avoid them at all costs. In regards to the other products that you would normally get at Walmart, I shop on Amazon. And I have been doing so since probably about 2010. I technically don't even really have a reason to go into the store unless I absolutely have to have something now because it's somebody's party or a social and we're missing something. Those are the only reasons I find myself having to go. And truth be told, I try to outsource it and send a shopper in to Instacart it instead of me having to go in that place. But anyway, FAFO movement on Black Friday, all these creators were posting videos of Walmart's being crickets on Black Friday. I love it because let me tell you, in regards to spending in this country, African Americans are one of the top spending consumer groups in this country. Sit around and think about that for a second. So we're going to spend because what? This is a capitalist society. Our society is literally founded upon economic productivity and growth. So you're going to spend your money, but it is your choice as to where you spend your money. The biggest impact one can have is making choices about deciding where their dollars are going. And if we choose not to support the billionaires who are now all Walmart from the 1, 2, 3, 4, I think it was 4 or 5, they listed their billionaire 40 billion, 30 billion, 20 billion, listed all of their assets out. I'm like, aren't you rich enough? Now, please don't get it twisted. I am always a proponent about propelling our economy and people forward in regards to increasing their bag to getting coins and making money and securing their financial future. At some point, power should be shifting in regards to how long a dynasty, quote unquote, can reign in America when they've dominated for the past 30 years, right? There's all of these new entrepreneurs who are popping up overnight who need the opportunity to get a part of their American dream. Isn't it time for them to shift? Like, I don't even understand why we allow companies to get that big anymore. And I get it, again, I get it. Free country, free right, free speech, free your ability to make however much money you want. But shouldn't there be some type of constraint when it comes to people being billionaires and not being productive members of society? I'm just saying. Because go into a social media feed and type the word Walmart, and you will see all the customer complaints, all the employee complaints about how bad this organization is. I'm just wondering if your customers are saying you're bad, your employees are complaining about you and doing videos on social media where they're getting on intercoms and literally quitting and recording it and putting it on social media and it's going viral, like millions and millions of hits. It's like, yo, y'all wild up in there. At what point does a company have to be socially and ethically responsible? It would be one thing if the value you added to society was a thing. They are always like, well, Walmart employs so many millions of people or however many people they employ. Or maybe it's hundreds of thousands. I don't actually know the quote. But if you reach a certain economic class, and you are not using your wealth to advance society forward, shouldn't there be like a cap or something as to how much more you can progress in regards to your wealth? I'm just throwing some ideas out there. Like, I just think people should be held more accountable if they are given the responsibility of managing more wealth in our society. You should see the evidence of how all these people shopping at this store is adding value to people's lives instead of it being cheap products that break after you get it 3 days later. I wanted to jump on and talk about that. So that was my first point, which is like number one, why boycott Walmart and how they have the impact on local communities. My second point is power of collective action. And I said earlier, the best way you can get in touch with your power is controlling where your money goes and where you spend it and being intentional about the dollars that you spend in society. You're going to spend the money. The question of how you spend your money and whether or not you spending your money at that institution or that company has value is going to be determined by you. So hopefully that is something you're taking into consideration before you're taking out the card and swiping and or tapping. Already talked about shopping alternatives. Yeah, I've already covered all the topics I want to talk about. So it's really not a formal format to this episode, but I did want to jump on and talk about the FAFO movement and then give voice to the fact that it doesn't just need to be on a day. If you really want to have an impact, it needs to be an ongoing thing to show that we are serious about having impact as far as our money is concerned. And honestly, that is regardless of who you are. Where you spend your money and which company you support is up to you. But I just want to commend the African Americans for coming together because that is so amazing to see us doing something positive with our economic power. And it's not just like the Black community. You had all these companies coming out and saying how they're going to, because of the tariffs, they're going to pass their increased costs off to their customers. Like, I'll give you an example. I am a loyal Apple product user, but let me tell you something. If you continue to raise prices and I don't feel like I'm getting value, just like when we bought our new phones this year, we actually didn't even get the 16s, we got the 15s. And I kid you not, I was like, there is no difference from the 13 that I've had for the last 2 years or 3 years. It was still functioning. The only thing was I was running out of data because I was doing so much work on my phone and I literally run my business from my phone. And so I was like, I don't see the point in paying all this money just to quote unquote say you have a new phone and there's no difference in it. Like, what sense does that make? And so I was like, so maybe we'll come back around and try in another year to 2 years around the 17 or 18. But truth be told, even with the conglomerate, Apple, who I love, like the dominance in regards to the market, like I'm getting to the point where, okay, yes, I've used this phone and it served this purpose over the past 12 to 13, I think, years I've been with Apple. But sometimes you just want to try a new product, and I ain't going to no Samsung. It's just we don't get along. Really don't. And so, me and an Android system, regardless of what kind of phone it is just not a fit on a phone. I use Google on my computer, my laptop, and sometimes with my iPad, that's about as far as it gets for me. It doesn't go into my phone because that's just a no. For me, it's a boundary that I don't cross. As always, you can find me on Rashida.ai, and I am running a special now. It's my crypto masterclass course for $200 off. It is $99. I'm going to probably keep it until the end of the year. And then we'll go from there. But check us out. I would love for you guys to come learn crypto with me. I actually haven't even done the $100,000 post yet, but I will do a 100K post. And I know it's backed off of 100K a little bit. It's going to take a couple of weeks for that to stabilize. I think we'll find some stability probably around the time the season breaks and President Trump has been sworn back into office again, and we're off to the next 4 years. Anyway, so check me out on Rashida.ai. And as always, you can find me across socials, Rashida McFerren or Rashida.McFerren. You can pop it in the search and I will come up and you can connect with me there. Until then, I will see you all in the next episode. Bye for now.